We're here.
Hey,
Clayton, thanks for being here.
thanks for having me, man.
Episode Trey. And Clayton, I am super excited for you to be here. I just realized I set up this thing for like filmmaker knowledge, and out of the first three guests, I have two actors on. Though you are getting into the production side of things.
I am. I don't have much knowledge as of yet.
Well, that's fine.
But,
no one does. Truthfully, no one knows what they're doing. They just end up working with more and more expensive equipment. So I guess why don't you give a little bit about yourself to the audience, and we can go from there. What do you do?
Sure. I do a lot, Cole. Well, I'm an actor, as Cole said. I've been acting in St. Louis for, I don't know, maybe going on 5 years now.
That's one hand.
I started out doing theater, which I guess is the foundation of most actors, I would imagine. Not everybody, but usually. And I've got into improv. Before that, I was doing radio.
Yeah,
for a couple years.
I think you have, at least when we first met, which was probably like 6 years ago, all I knew you as was a radio guy that was wanting to do creative stuff. We were trying to come up with a bogus entertainment show at the time that didn't pan out. Would have been really cool if we got that going, but just too much planning, not enough doing.
Yeah, I think that was the point. Exactly. We had, there were 6 of us working on it?
Probably.
5 or 6 of us, 2 hands. And I think all of us were in the novice stage of entertainment. We had these pipe dreams of wanting to be like super funny late night entertainers, but no one really knew how to do that.
Yeah, we're not funny either.
We're not that funny.
That was a failure from the beginning.
I remember we did write 1 or 2 scripts. Or we at least...
Like skits.
Skits, yes. It's called Shit Insurance, right? Or No Shit Insurance?
Yeah, and it was called like Shit Happens Insurance or something like that.
Shit Happens, yes.
But like one of the ideas that we had was like to get you out of trouble basically in real life situations. And I saw a really good skit redone with that same concept around it like just this last year. If I can dig it up, I'll end up linking it in the description. It's really funny.
I'd like to see that.
They did it way better than what we would have done it too. All right, so that's done. What the learning lesson out of that is doing is way more important than planning. Eventually, you just have to pull the trigger, get the camera out, put people in place, and start filming and doing.
That's the way that I learn. I learned through reps. When I was growing up as a kid, I was an athlete. I played sports every season of the year, and when you're training in sports, it's all about getting your reps. If you play hockey, for instance, that's another thing I do. I coach high school ice hockey. So if you want to work on your shot, well, you can't just draw it up on a whiteboard and talk about how the shot should be. You have to actually take shots. So it's about reps, and I kind of use that mindset when I talk about film or getting better as an actor or producer.
More slap shots.
More slap shots equal more goals.
That's you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Thank you, Wayne.
But getting back to this doing lesson, if that's the lesson of our conversation
It
today.
seems like it probably is going to be. Being that it's the new year and people are planning out what they need to be doing better this year, doing is the biggest factor within that.
Some of the best advice I was given when I was a beginning actor in this town, I met with a professional actor. Her name's Amy Loui. She's been acting in St. Louis for a long time.
I'll plug her in the bottom here, so here's your hookup.
Yeah, please do. Many of you may know her. She's very good. The number one thing that I took away from our meeting when I first met with her was take every audition that you can. When you're first starting out, take every single audition that you are offered, because that is a chance to meet new people, new directors, maybe meet other actors. It's a chance to network. It's a chance to get yourself out there, and for directors, casting directors, and production companies to learn your face. So that's really what I did for my first 1 or 2 years in the St. Louis market as an actor. Any audition I was offered, I took. Any audition opportunity I saw, any audition call posted on a website, I sent in my resume and headshot and asked for an audition and just took it.
You have to do that. You have to be ballsy enough to get outside your comfort zone and just throw your hat into the ring. Most production companies may not have the ideal thing for you right there in the moment.
Right.
But the fact that you get your headshot out there, your resume out there, or you show up and to an audition, they have your face in the can then now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing too, the audition process can sometimes be awkward and scary and really debilitating as an actor, because you're really just putting yourself out there and people are judging you. Like, that's what an audition is. You're being judged by your work in that moment. So the more that you get out there, and again, we'll use the word reps, the more reps you have doing it, the more comfortable you're going to get with that process.
You've done good with the commercial work. I've seen you on TV a couple times myself this year, and I don't even have television at home anymore in the last 4 months. So I think I saw you in like the Blues hockey thing. Or the hockey commercial you did.
I was in a commercial for Total Hockey.
And then you were in something else too, weren't you, recently?
I was in, let's see, I think I've done 4 commercials.
There was a mortgage commercial or something?
Vinson Mortgage.
I can't believe
yes.
I remember that, but Vinson I did
Mortgage.
see that as well.
And we were on a safari searching for money under our house.
Call Vincent Mortgage right now, 878-99. Isn't that the same guy?
878-9999.
Whatever. I'm really happy about this episode so far. Because we're talking about a lot of the doing that needs to happen for people to get their life going.
Yeah.
No one's going to put in the work for you. You just simply have to do it. And when I first met you, you were in radio. How did you make the jump into theater? Like, I didn't even realize that you had that much of a passion for acting. How did that come about? Or was it already there? And how did you make the jump?
I think it's always sort of been there. I've always had an interest in acting. I've always been creative with whatever I've done. And, earlier I talked about that growing up I was mostly an athlete. So even going through high school, I played a sport every single season in high school. And when they had casting calls for the school production, the high school play, I was interested in it, but it was impossible to practice every day playing sports and also go to rehearsals every single day for the high school production. So I had to divide my time somehow. And at that point in my life, sports took precedence.
Fucking grouping people into one thing or another, and it becomes all cliquey and shit, and like all the fucked up shit in society that you hate, I feel like it stems in high school.
Do you remember the show The Pretender on NBC? And it was this show, it followed around this guy that he would like pretend to be all these different professions. Like one episode he'd pretend to be like a surgeon or something. The next episode he was like a detective.
Oh, kind of like Master of Disguise.
Yeah, similar. I don't know, Master. I remember watching that show and I was like, that would be cool to be able to pretend to be all these different things. Mm-hmm. And that's really that's what acting is. And I think I've always had a problem with routine and being complacent in the same routine over and over and over. I knew 9-to-5 jobs were not going to be my thing. And what acting allows you to do is to assume different roles with every production. And so it kind of breaks up the routine. You kind of get a fresh start with every production. And I think that's kind of always been in there.
Yeah, so how did you make the jump from radio into theater? When was it like, boom, I need to make that jump?
Well, so radio in St. Louis, at least. St. Louis, I think, is like the 28th sized market in the country. So radio jobs in this town, unless you're with KMOX 1120 AM, who's, the big dog of radio, you are buying your airtime and then you are selling to advertisers yourself to recoup the monthly fee that you have to pay the radio station for your airtime. I realize that radio is getting a smaller and smaller piece of the pie. Like, as we continue, radio is going to be smaller and smaller. I think there's always going to be a place for it, but now you see we're kind of moving in the direction of podcasting and stuff like that. One thing I did like about radio was the kind of improv aspect of being on the air. You certainly plan out your shows. You have a show rundown. We're going to have this guest at that time. We're going to talk about this topic here. We might play a game at some point, but for the most part, it's improv. After I decided radio's not my thing, I'm going to try and move into acting, I took some improv classes.
Where was that at?
That was locally at the Improv Shop.
Okay. Improv Shop, I'll link something down there.
Yeah, please do. They actually have they just closed on a new building in the Grove. Really, improv, I think, is good for anybody in any profession.
It's good for the soul.
It is. It really is. And maybe people watching this have heard of the golden rule, yes and.
Yep.
You know, I think in business that's really key, because business is all about working with other people. And not everybody has the same idea or the same concept of how we're going to get from A to B. If you just shoot down, nope, that's not going to work. Nope, that's dumb. Then you're shooting down their confidence. You're shooting down their
You're shooting
desire.
down the scene.
Yeah, you're killing the scene.
You son of a bitch.
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. There's a good community out there, a very supportive community. That's a lot of what improv is about. It's supporting your teammates. And it's more about making your scene partners be the superstar as opposed to trying to be the superstar yourself. And so with that, I think I developed some confidence performing in front of others.
I remember seeing you.
Perform improv. Oh yes, you did. Was that
Focal Point?
The Focal Point? Yes.
I really like the Focal Point. They actually cheap reservations if you're looking to like hold a meeting or a fucking event there. So check out Focal Point.
Yeah, if you need to fuck an event.
If you need to fuck anywhere in public, Focal Point.
If you're going to be taken seriously, you need a legit headshot, which I would suggest you get taken by a legit photographer.
My mom has a digital camera.
Yeah, don't. No. I remember my first resume I sent to Talent Plus. Talked about my experience in radio. I had done a few community theater plays, like low-level community theater. Like, I don't even think they have a name for what it was, but it was not community theater. And I think I put some improv. I put my improv classes. Mm-hmm. Is this funny to you?
I think it's great.
Funny. I'm trying to tell you about my experience, and you're laughing in my face.
Well, you're kind of funny. So, what can I say? No, I'm digging everything you say because, that's my main focus when I talk to new people within the video realm. Of you have to get your shit straight. Stop working on other people's stuff and start working on you. Do you have a demo reel? If you don't have a reel, no one cares. You're just telling people what you do with no proven easy body of work. Don't give them a YouTube link of a couple things you've done. Like they're going to watch 30 seconds of it. It's going to be bullshit at the very beginning. A reel needs to be 2 minutes of super polished examples of your work, your craft, your art of what you do, and be able to give people that easily so they can hire you. You're not Quentin Tarantino. You're not Leo, people don't know your body of work, so they need to see what you can do easily.
You can go online and look up a bunch of 30-second monologue scripts or 1-minute monologues and shoot those on a camera and present it well with a good backdrop, and that can be part of your reel. That can be your first reel.
If you don't have a film, if you don't have a video, well, guess what? The smartphone that you own, you can put on a tripod. You can sit on a counter, and you can get a piece of something of your performance. If you are talented, it will show on video. Yeah. And then the moment you have anything else to show to represent your work, fucking change it. But until then, that's what you got. The last at bat, Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about that. I'll plug Gary Vaynerchuk. As far as your last at bat is the best you have to offer. And it sucks. It sucks recognizing that you suck in the moment. But, it's just now.
It sucks.
But you build up the empire. You build up your body of work.
I actually booked a industrial video job. It was a union job. It paid really well on an audition tape that I shot for my smartphone.
The talent has to be there. If you simply just don't have the talent, you need to be honest with yourself. Hopefully you have friends that can be honest with you too. And there's a difference between being an asshole and being truthful. And if you just plain suck at something and you're not making it while putting in really high effort into making it, then you should probably change what you're doing. But ultimately, most people aren't putting in the full effort to actually get it going. You just aren't. 2017.
So my goal, I talked about my background being in the theater. Well, in 2017, I want to position myself towards more film, more experience behind the camera. I've developed a online marketing video production. These will be 2 marketing videos, about 2.5 minutes each, for a local online company called rentluggage.com. And you should check them out.
Rentluggage.com.
Rentluggage.com.
Hopefully their website is live.
Oh, their website looks very good.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've seen their website.
It looks very good. They rent a lot of outdoor gear. If you're going on a road trip and you need a luggage carrier on the roof of your car, they rent that. They rent ski racks. Anyway, you can check it out and see for yourself. This will be my first time producing a video. I will be in front of the camera as one of the actors as well, because we don't have money, so I'm saving some money that way. But this will be my first time being behind the camera. We've written the scripts. We've gotten a crew that's going to help out and shoot this. One of our mutual friends, Nick Adamson.
Nick Adamson, he's not on Instagram, but I will try to plug him in some other capacity. He's a great musician as well. Just a good guy.
He is.
He's backed me up on a lot of crew gigs. And, sometimes like your best friends and schmoes around you end up becoming your best partners in the future. It's just a willingness of wanting to try out new things and get involved, and he's done great. He's done some really nice things for me, so thank you, Nick.
Which is exactly what we're doing. We're both kind of trying out some new things.
So do you hope to do more of that throughout 2017, or?
I do. I think what I want to do throughout 2017 is I'm going to be very selective with the theater auditions that I take. Before I talked about getting out there and meeting people and taking every audition. Well, now it's time to kind of hold back a little bit, pull in the reins, and be selective with the theater roles. And now I'm going to just grab for any sort of film auditions that I can, so I can meet more film people, because I've met a lot of theater people. I've met some film people, but I need to meet more so that more opportunities can come my way.
There's a lot of different film events, even in St. Louis, and we're not like the biggest film town at all. But there's a lot of different like small premiere events, and just like when people are doing their own indie, what the fuck's going on. And then we've got the St. Louis Filmmakers Showcase and the International Film Festival.
It's growing. It's definitely growing.
There's a lot of opportunities to just step outside that comfort zone. This is a good little plug here. I started a new Meetup group for networking with filmmakers. Have you not seen this?
No.
I'll go ahead and link this on here, but January 25th, hopefully I can get this episode
I'm not available that day.
Are you not?
No, you're going to have to cancel.
Immediately shut the scene. January 25th, I am doing a meetup for filmmakers. So I started this myself. Meetup, it costs a little bit of money for you to start the group in your own city, but I just said network with other filmmakers. And I put it up there, and I did something similar to this in Chicago, and it was hugely successful in the small amount of time that I did it up there. But make your opportunities. Just go and construct your own group. And I've already got 15 people confirmed going. So
that's awesome. So the group is called Network for Filmmakers?
The group is called St. Louis Film Everything.
Let me ask you this question. I know you're the host, but let me just see if you have some advice for our lovely viewers.
Sure, I'll try.
It's easy to talk about doing more, right? And it's easy to talk about, I want to do this and I want to do that. And, that'd be a good idea if I could shoot my own video sketch and put it on YouTube, and I could start a YouTube channel. Like, it's easy to talk about. What do you say to people that haven't made that first step, that might have a desire to start getting into film or getting into any new project? How do you actually make the move and do it? I mean, it's easy to just say do, but how do you kind of get there so that when you are doing, you feel more comfortable and more confident in that step?
Well, the one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people have been really troubled with is like caught in the planning process of thinking like, I just need to buy that new camera, or I need to get that drone, or I need this.
Creating obstacles for yourself.
Yeah, and so we fabricate these obstacles in our mind where realistically we have the tools right around us to put anything out. We couldn't get our fucking wireless mic working earlier, and I easily could have been like, okay, well, maybe we'll just try it another time instead, or I'll just grab a mic out of the closet and throw it in front of Clayton's face, and we'll go with that. Another thing that I've really personally attached onto is I think we're individually really afraid of our own success. I think we truly are paralyzed internally, emotionally, of wanting to strive for the best us possible. And there's something really terrifying about starting out on a journey fresh and new, putting yourself out there for people to see and judge and view and decipher and probably post bad comments about. So there's a lot of negative emotions that go into the process when you're first starting out. What I really grasp onto is not being afraid of your fullest potential. Like, as far as we know, we have this one lifetime to try to make a difference in the life of others and to take this as a fruitful experience. And, for me, it's giving back and helping other people realize that same thing. So, do. If you've got a plan or you've been thinking about something for a long time, just try it out. I don't think people fully give 100% into what they do. If you're really passionate about acting, but you have financial excuses. You can make money from acting, but what are you doing to really make sure you're getting the most reps, the most opportunities? Are you sending out the emails? Are you making phone calls? Are you getting that new photo? Are you updating that reel? Put in that 100% effort into making your dreams a reality, and it'll happen.
Our first production isn't going to be our best production, right?
No, it's going to suck.
It's probably going to suck, and we have to be okay with that because that has been the launching point. And so if we start out and we have our launching point, then the next time we do it, well, we've learned a few things based on our last experience, so it's going to be a little bit better, and that's how you continue to build momentum. And then by your, I don't know, umpteenth production, you've really figured out all the aspects of the production, and you can put some really solid work down.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg quote is, "Done is better than perfect."
That's a good one.
And I never really respect that quote until maybe this mid of this last year, because I thought, well, that's stupid. Why do something and not give your all? But that's not what he's saying in that. He's saying that having a product done is better than working on it forever and never getting it out there. Because if it's not done, you can't improve upon that idea. So go do and then improve as you're doing.
Yeah.
Clayton, I'd like to thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks
Hope
for
to have
having
you
me.
back in the future. I feel like I'm going to run out of people really quickly, but we'll see how this goes. I'm excited to see where we go from here. Clayton, we go out on a super duper high five to make it really awkward at the end of the show.
Okay.
So
are we actually gonna high five and touch, or are we gonna do like one of those things where we like stop and then there's gonna be like a
we're going to high five
graphic.
and freeze. I'll use my left hand because I haven't used my left hand yet. So, all right, look at your elbow.